meeting of the Yountville Zoning and Design Review Board for Tuesday, November 14th. Let's see, then the first thing is the roll call.
Yes. Member DePolsky?
Here.
Member Henthorn? Member Cook?
Here.
Vice Chair Zagrasek? And Chair Miller.
Here. All right, if you all stand for a minute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first order of business is to adopt the agenda. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. The motion has been seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Approval of the October 10th minutes. Did you all have a chance to take a look at them? Any comments or questions?
They
right.
all look good. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 10th, 2023.
Excellent.
I second it.
Thank you. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Although I was not here.
All right. Public comment on matters not listed on the agenda? Nothing. Presentations? There are none. We have a public hearing to amend the zoning map and repeal and replace section 1708, 010, and 17184, 040 of Title 17 of the Yountville Municipal Code to incorporate the updated zoning map by reference and clarify the town council's authority to act on proposed zoning map amendments and find the amendments exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Miller. Good afternoon, and good afternoon, board members. Thank you for being here. So like you said, we'll be updating the zoning map and making some changes to our zoning ordinance. Beatrice, if you could go to the next slide. So these updates are just to clarify the authority that the town council has over zoning map amendments. There are no significant changes to land use designations or zoning designations.
Oh, I don't know. There we go. Sorry.
So we're just updating the zoning map to accurately display previously approved land use and zoning designations. There are no proposed changes. The incorporated changes to the zoning map are the introduction of the affordable housing overlay. Sorry, not introduction, inclusion. The mixed residential 2, RM2. The sphere of influence. The correction of the location of the mixed-use overlay, correction of a portion of 6462 Washington Street from a residential zone to planned development, and then we updated the color scheme to be closer to what you see from the map previously approved. The ordinance amendments, I won't read through these whole things. These are the proposed new sections, and the underlined portions are the major changes. So the last sentence in the first paragraph is a copy of the zoning ordinance and the zoning map, together with a record of all amendments, shall be kept on file with the town clerk and available at the planning and building department. And we're just adding together with a record of all amendments to make sure that amendments to the zoning map are included. And same for the second change, the last sentence. The town council shall have the authority to approve, conditionally approve, or deny applications for zoning ordinance, zoning map, or general plan amendments. That sentence before just didn't include zoning map. And so this is the map that you are probably familiar with. It's on our website and it's on the wall there. This had some of the mistakes I went over before that were attempted to be, well, they were remedied in the map that was approved in September of 2022, which is the next slide. So, for example, this introduced RM2 and put the affordable housing overlay on the map, but it introduced some new mistakes that are corrected on the next slide in the map that we're proposing today. So this is the new map. It looks a lot closer to the one you see on the wall. And it's been vetted by myself and lots of other staff members to make sure there are no mistakes. And then there's also an interactive map. We don't need to explore that, but that will be updated on the website as well.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Yeah, so that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, we can discuss them now.
Just when you listed out changes that were being made, you said sphere of influence? What did you
Yes.
mean by that? That's
So
not a term
in
I've
September
heard.
of 2022, we approved a map that had new errors, and one of those errors was it omitted the sphere of influence.
And what do you mean by sphere of influence?
So Domain Shandong is the only portion of our town that is in the sphere of influence. It's not within the town limits, it's within our sphere of influence.
Oh, okay. That's that little red square?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Comments?
Is this the, are we required to submit a zoning map as part of the housing element? And is,
We did change RM2 as part of our housing element. That was in September of 2022.
yeah,
This is not a requirement for the housing element.
got it. But the RM2 category was introduced as a response to the housing element, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the only change on that is the color differentiating
Yeah.
quality?
On the map, yes. Density is the other, I think, big.
Yeah, the big difference for RM2 and RM is the density.
Okay.
And it's pink. Here.
All right. Well, if there aren't any other comments or questions, I guess we can make a motion to adopt it.
Can we open a public comment just,
public
just for
comment.
formality's sake?
Sorry about that. I always forget that. Do we have any public comment?
No.
Okay.
And just to clarify, it'll be a recommendation
Recommendation to approve.
to council. Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion to do just that?
I will make a motion to recommend the amendment to council as written.
All right. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Unanimous.
Thank you for cleaning that up and
That's good language, Mackenzie, for the motion. Okay.
fixing the errors.
Happy to.
Great. So the next item on the agenda is design review for a permit for the conversion of a 111 square foot carport to a dining room. And I guess at this moment I will recuse myself because of proximity.
Yes.
Can you just specify that it's proximity to your residence?
Proximity to the residence that we're discussing. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we do like our administrative approvals report
Yeah.
later in the meeting. There are none. So I don't know if there's any reason to return to the meeting
Okay.
if you don't want to. I don't think
Okay.
there's anything at the end. Mackenzie, is that okay?
I don't have anything, but if you want to come back for your board reports and comments, you can. It's up to you.
Okay. I'll just step out. I think it's going to go relatively quickly, so.
Okay. Good night.
Right.
All right, so the second public hearing item is for design review for the conversion of the portion of a carport to a 111 square foot dining room. I think that was poorly worded in the staff report. It's not the entire carport being converted, it's just a portion, and it's the rear portion. So a little bit about the site. The zoning is Old Town Historic. It's currently developed with a 1,329 square foot residence. It's a 5,765 square foot lot and that calculates to a 0.23 FAR. There's also a carport, front porch, and detached storage shed on the property. And I'll explain why this is significant later. The carport includes a 3-foot fence in the middle, which delineates the parking area from what is to be the dining room. And there are 3 parking spaces on the property, 1 covered by the carport and 2 uncovered adjacent to the carport. The proposed changes are to remove that 3-foot fence I mentioned and convert the rear portion of the carport to a 111 square foot carport dining room. The design materials are board and batten siding to match existing, and the corner and window trim are also to match existing. So this new portion that's going to be the dining room is going to look just like the rest of the front of the house does. Some of the design standards and guidelines that I wanted to highlight are the addition of the dining room looks like it may contribute to massing if you just look at the elevation, but it's set back from the very front of the house, and so that helps to mitigate the appearance of massing. The parking conditions are unchanged, and there's still going to be 1 covered parking space. It's going to be the same size, and there are still 2 uncovered parking spaces. The carport is not on the rear half of the lot, which is a requirement of the design standards, although it's not being, the carport is existing. It's not being removed or replaced. Well, a portion is being removed. It's not being moved to a different location. And then all the front, side, and rear setbacks are met and actually exceeded. Next slide. So with that, the recommendation is to approve the application as proposed. And I just added some language there for a motion. And if you'd like, we can look at the plans. Beatrice, if you could pull up those plans, then I can just do a quick description so we can, with the visualization so we can see. So you go to the second page, and if you could zoom in on that. Yes. And down just a tiny bit. That's good there. So you can see the darkest lines there are the proposed dining room. On the bottom is where the fence is. That's going to be removed. And you can see it just kind of, that's the delineation for the parking space that is existing and is going to remain. So I just wanted to point that out. And then you can see also it's set back from the front porch in the front of the building to mitigate the massing. You can also see here the setbacks are all met. So that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, we can go over them now.
Any questions of staff on the proposal?
Just a quick question. When I first looked at the elevation of the front, my initial reaction was this addition is kind of screaming for a window to kind of balance the aesthetic of the front. Is that because there's going to be a car parked in front of it that they didn't want to do a window, or?
I hadn't asked why they didn't do a window. I assume it's because there's going to be a car there. There usually is a car there, as it is now. I went and looked at it today, and actually lots of times while I was reviewing, and there was usually a car there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very deep set at the back of the carport, under the roof of the carport. So I know what you mean. Visually, it looks like it should have a window, but
Yeah.
I could see why they wouldn't want to put a window there.
That's a good point, because it's also under, like, I think 18 or 20 feet
Yeah.
of carport.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it would be dark.
I'd like to add that if I may. I think it's going to just disappear. I think it's to almost put a window there, actually, contrary to maybe being inside the house for light or something. I think it actually would draw more attention to it. So I think it's better that there not be one.
Okay.
Can I just ask a sort of findings question?
Yes.
You list out all the findings and all the design standards very completely. In the past, on some of the projects, they've come to us in the form of like a chart.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the standards. Does it meet it? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot easier to read.
Okay.
Is that something that, I know,
We can do
they're
that.
also in the resolution, so I don't know if that can be in a resolution format. But it's a really nice way to go through and look at a project and understand if it meets all the requirements.
I think absolutely, if that's how you prefer it, and I actually use them to just make sure I'm checking all the boxes, and then sometimes they go in the staff report, and then sometimes I just use them as a tool for my own double checking. But I don't see them being in a resolution.
No.
But yeah, absolutely, for staff reports, we can do that for you.
Yeah, it just makes it really easy, and it makes the project very clear to understand instead
Totally.
of reading the pros and cons of a resolution. But yeah, no, this one makes perfect sense to me. It's a very small house, and it's a good place to put the dining room, so I'm good with it.
Okay.
I'm good.
I have no questions, so we'll go ahead and close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
go
move
ahead.
to the applicant's presentation. now.
Yes, thank you.
So the applicant couldn't be with us today. She's traveling, and so I'll read this statement she provided. Dear Kyle and members of the committee, regretfully, we cannot be with you for the hearing scheduled for tomorrow as we are traveling in the Middle East. We offered to participate via Zoom, but we were advised that this is not possible. Accordingly, we are submitting this brief statement in support of our application for a building permit at our full-time residence at 2006 Weber Avenue, Yountville. As you can see from our application, we are proposing to enclose an area of approximately 100 square feet to create an indoor dining area accessible through the existing kitchen. The house does not currently have adequate interior dining space. The proposed construction is very straightforward, as you can see from the plans. If built, the total square footage would be within the square footage allowance for the size of our lot, as confirmed by Kyle. We believe that this is a reasonable request and hope that you are able to approve our application. Although we are traveling, we are reachable by mobile phone and email. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you require any further information.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any public comment
No.
on the proposal? Okay. Does anyone from the public wish to speak at this time? Please come to the microphone. Okay, we'll close that. And we'll move to any conversation amongst the board. Anyone share their opinion or perspective?
It makes perfect sense to me. I don't see any problems with it.
I agree 100%.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and close that, and we can proceed to anyone who would like to make a motion.
I will make a motion to accept the resolution number 23-005 as presented for 2006 Weber Avenue.
I second it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Cool.
Motion accepted. And yeah, we can bring them back.
All right.
Oh, I turn your mic off.
Thank you. Update on administrative items. You said there were none?
There were no administrative approvals since the last board meeting.
Okay, thank you. Staff and board reports? None?
None.
Okay. Adjournment. Anyone want to move to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Excellent.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, that was fast.
Couldn't have done it without.
Thanks. I'm so glad I stuck around.